Hi, welcome back to the Crypto Horrors with a special episode, I guess, today. So, I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to title this yet. I think it was Halloween Ends Extravaganza or something. I might even go with Halloween Ends a Palooza, which honestly sounded really stupid when I said it out loud just now, so probably won't do that, but anyway, so I'm going to go over everything I've got for Halloween Ends today, which is kind of a lot of stuff, actually. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I don't have the soundtracks with me because apparently they don't manufacture anything in advance anymore. So my vinyl soundtrack for the film and the vinyl supplement for single for Burn It Down, the song that's over the credits, those are coming at some point in January. So you'll see those in a future vinyl video, but they felt worth noting. Having trouble clearing my throat, sorry. So the first thing we're going to go into is, I guess, the first thing I picked up, which is the Halloween Ends mask. So it's pretty similar to the Halloween Kills mask, although for some reason, well, okay, I know why. I didn't have time to get another display head for this one, so it's just been kind of hanging by this thing in the crypt here. And so it's kind of caved in on one side as a result of that. So that's why it's kind of like that. Oh, God, Chin, I hate this so much, don't you? Good Lord. So it's also why I haven't removed the tag yet. I haven't really tried to check the fit yet, though. It's not so bad, actually. It's significantly looser than the Halloween 2018 mask, but it's actually, it actually sticks to my face pretty good. I have a much smaller head than a lot of the people interested in the Michael Myers masks. So the Halloween 2 mask in particular is like a bicycle helmet on me, so yeah, it actually wears pretty good. I think the Halloween Kills mask had a similar, like, decent fit. And the faux mold is actually pretty well done on this. So of course it varies by mask to mask. So I ended up I got an okay one. So I got this from Spirit. There were, I think, one or two I could pick from, and the other two looked honestly kind of bad. Like their paint jobs were pretty rough. And so I picked this one up from Spirit. It basically cost all the money I had to spare at the time. Like, I had just gotten my tax return like several months late, so it was like, okay, I can play around a little. And then I left Spirit and I was walking down the street and I ran into some brand new place that had just opened there for the first time that year. This year, and I was like, oh, I wonder what this place is like. And they had like a dozen of these, and several of them were in better shape than this one. And it's like, well, we can't go back now. So I stuck with this one. But, this one turned out pretty good. So, same old trick-or-treat quality. It's good. It's good. This one's, I don't know how much it counts, but so the Fangoria for that quarter, the cover story, one of the possible cover stories, because they do two variants now, was Halloween Ends. There's an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis interviews James Jude Courtney for about 4 or so pages. I haven't gotten to read it yet because I've been subscribed to the new Fangoria since it started in 2018. I'm notoriously bad at reading these on time. Like, I used to just read them on the bus on the way to school, and then I started slipping. I can't even count how many issues there are in that pile over there that I'm behind. There's at least 10 of them over there. it's like, ugh. So, I mean, I read them when I have time, but it's like, meh. And then we have the Halloween Ends novelization, which is actually really, really good. So I've already said I was having a pretty rough year, which with a lot of stuff I won't go into. And to try and cheer me up, some of my friends from high school, one of them travels a lot for work, and he has a lot of frequent flyer miles, and so as a special thing, actually used his flyer miles to fly me out to visit him in Colorado in October, for free. So they paid for me to go on this trip and visit them for around a week or so, and so I wanted a copy of this to read on the flight because it was coming out a few days before I had to leave. So I tried to find a copy, and it was actually really, really difficult to get a hold of this in time. I ended up having to settle for an ebook, so I ended up reading the entire ebook of this on, well, something ridiculous happened with the flight, and I ended up having like 6 more hours of travel time than I should have. But I ended up reading the entire thing pretty quickly. Like, I think I finished it in something like 5 hours total or something of just reading time, and it was really good. So this has so I personally really liked Halloween Ends. Like, I thought it was really good. And don't turn off the video at me saying that. So I mean, like, think about it. Like, it's Halloween. It's technically Halloween 13. Like, it is a lot better than the 13th entry of any like big franchise has any right to be. So it's really heavy on plot, and I think that's maybe what some people were kind of turned off by, because it takes a lot of ideas that old entries in the series, like Halloween 4 and 5, have had, like, somebody else kind of becoming the shape. Like the end of Halloween 4 has hinted at that with what happens to Jamie, like in that kind of shock ending. But unlike those movies, it actually follows through on them. I mean, it gives an ending to that idea, like, and some people are like, oh, that means it doesn't follow through. But no, it just resolves that plot. It just resolves that idea. Like, it doesn't not follow through. It follows through. But anyway, so I really loved it. And there's a lot of stuff in here that I think the movie would have been much, much better received if some of the scenes in here had been in the film. Like, there are a lot more Michael Myers kills in here. Like, there are several flashbacks where Michael Myers is killing people, like, in the years before Halloween Ends. And there's an explanation for why his arm is messed up. Like, one of his victims, like badly wounds him, like, before he gets her. There's a lot of really useful exposition and explanations for why certain things happen. There's a lot of, well, gratuitous. There's a very gratuitous eroticism in the Corey Allison sex scene. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I was reading it on the plane, and I was like looking around. It's like, can people see this on my screen? Wow. Like, it wasn't like full penetration kind of stuff, but it was just like the foreplay. It was like they're like biting each other's fingers and shit. It's like, wow. Like, whew. Oh. So there's a lot going on in here, and it also has a different ending too. This has a different. It has a dark ending compared to the movie. So like, this was really, really good, and I was really happy with it. And I'm looking forward to reading the physical copy, which finally showed up. because I think it was like a week or two after my trip, it was finally available to buy on Amazon. Like, it wasn't like sold out anymore, and it was only like $9, I think. So it was pretty efficient. So if you didn't like the movie, maybe you'll like the book. Like, there's a slight chance you might like the book, because the book, a lot of the things people complained about in the movie made somewhat more sense in the book, if that makes sense. A little bit of the vocabulary is kind of, but you know, like I did a lot of writing in grad school, and I got a lot of praise for it. So my writing standards are kind of different than a lot of people's. So anyway, and then let's cap it off with the Halloween Ends 4K Steelbook, which I pre-ordered a while ago. Apparently, when you pre-order something from Best Buy, it doesn't charge you at the time of the pre-order. It charges you when the pre-order is getting ready to ship, which was really annoying because, well, I had the money when I pre-ordered it. I didn't have the money when it was trying to charge me for it. So that was a whole fire we had to put out. But anyway, it's actually a pretty nice steelbook. As far as the Best Buy steelbooks go. So it's kind of hard to see here, but the lettering is actually kind of embossed. So it's is it raised or no? It's indented in, like it's like textured, which kind of gives it a really nice effect. You kind of have to see it in person. I'm trying to see if the glare can. There, you can see it a little bit. Some people aren't a big fan of that art, but I mean, I've seen the Zavi one, which honestly is pretty nice. It basically looks like Myers, like kind of in the moonlight, like, and that one's really good too. But I kind of like the orange of this, with along with the Kill Steelbook and the 2018 Steelbook, like the first releases of them from Best Buy, they form kind of a color gradient. Like the first 2018 is kind of blue, Kills is red, and then this is orange, and it's kind of But anyway, let's open her up. So, and I'm going to take the discs out, hopefully very carefully without being an idiot and messing them up, as we almost right away damaged the Blu-ray. See? See how much we suck? Oh, man. That's freaking hard. Oh, man, they were right in those comments. So anyway, you get... so I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've actually seen Halloween Ends. So we get a scene from the finale on the inside art of the Steelbook. And somebody, I don't remember from where, said that in the scene it looked like Michael was putting a dash of spice on dinner. And, you know, actually kind of does look like that. So, the discs themselves are kind of plain. And I'm pretty sure that both of them have the exact same stuff on them. All the extras were on the 4K disc, which was really nice, because a lot of times they don't do that with 4K disc releases. So I assume all the extras are on the Blu-ray too. Because I had a list of extras for this, and everything on the list was on the 4K, so I assume they're all on the Blu-ray too. And this did look really nice in 4K. Because I've seen this movie something like 20 times, and that's not an exaggeration. Because I watched it like 2 or 3 times in full, like on my computer, like through streaming. And I've been weirdly into movie reactions this past year. So every time somebody did a movie reaction for it, I went and watched that. And so I've collectively seen the movie, like, scene by scene that way, like, a bunch of times. So I know it pretty well. But I'd never seen it, like, in HD, like, on my really nice TV with my really nice sound system. So it was pretty cool getting to enjoy it like that. And also, you may have noticed me leaving angry comments on the more stupid reactions. It's like, why is Michael Myers called the Shape? Are you kidding me? You know, some people have really said stuff like that. It's like, are you even trying? Come on, man. Like, there was one where the guy was like, this is the worst Halloween ever, and he's like surrounded by Myers mask replicas, and it's like next to him I can see 3 different versions of the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 mask, like, from the different stages of the film. Like, you know, he's got the one from, like, the beginning of the film, he's got the more decayed one from, like, the middle of the film, and he's got the heavily damaged one from the finale of the film, like, all there in a row next to him, and he's like, this is the worst Halloween of all time, Halloween ends, Halloween ends. And it's like, you know what you're sitting next to, right? Like, I mean, I like that movie too, but at the same time, self-awareness, dude. Like, you know, some people were like, oh, this was so disrespectful to Michael Myers. It's like, have you seen Curse of Michael Myers? Like, Halloween 6? Like, you know, I had to include a rant of some kind in this. Anyway, moving on to the special features, which I have watched twice, and we're going to see how much I remember, because my brain is kind of fried. So I was going to shoot, like, a ton of pickups videos tonight, like I, you know, told you in the last I was going to do in my last video. And then I had this idea, and it took pretty much all night to kind of brew it in my brain, which is now fried. So this is the J card, which is blurry as hell and you can't read. Sorry about that. Come on, autofocus. I have failed you. Well, whatever. I have a list I'll read you. Okay, so it's got an audio commentary, which that had Rowan Campbell. It took a minute to remember his last name. Rowan Campbell, Andy Machiak, David Gordon Green, and a couple other guys whose names completely escape me. And it was actually a pretty good. It was a pretty good commentary. It had a kind of a casual feel to it. My one kind of complaint with it is you could tell Annie Machiak was, like, on a Skype call or something. Like, she actually wasn't actually there, because she had this kind of weird echo, like, a lot of the times. Like, she would say something and it would go like this, you know. Some kind of, like, mic. It would clearly be some sort of, like, laptop mic feedback sound. And I think I made the joke, it's like, you know, it'd be nice if she didn't record this from a submarine, you know. But, you know, she had a lot of, you know, good things to contribute, and she had good energy. It was just kind of like, get a good mic, come on, man. But that's something that always bothers me with people recording audio. Like, I'm probably guilty of it a lot, too. Like, I found a bunch of videos I recorded, I think last year, and there's this bizarre hissing sound over all the audio, and it's, I'm gonna release them, but I'm gonna put a warning label on them. And anyway, so then we go into deleted and extended scenes, which turns out there are actually more deleted scenes than are on this disc, and I don't know why some of them didn't make it onto the disc, but I'm really curious to see them. Like, for example, Darcy the Mail Girl from Joe Bob is in this movie, and she did get a kill. She did get a death scene, and that death scene is in the making of. Like, we see them filming it, but it's not in the deleted scenes, and it's not in the movie. So where is it? And there's also, they tell the story of this in the commentary. There's also the sewer sex scene where, so this is, of course, a spoiler. Um, so after Corey helps Michael kill Doug, and he comes back to Allison's house and they hook up. Before that happens, there's a scene this is a scene in the book where they have like there's an extended foreplay scene where they're like putting their fingers in each other's mouths and like biting each other and stuff. And it's called the sewer sex scene because test audiences were grossed out by it because they were like, he's just been in the sewer. Like, why is he putting his fingers in her mouth after he's been in the sewer? And David Gordon Green was like, damn, I didn't think of that. And so they like cut that part, and that's not in the deleted scenes. So, But anyway, so deleted scenes that we're just gonna rattle them off, and I'm gonna say what they were. Michael shakes things up. So this is an alternate version of when Corey meets Michael in the sewer. Instead of Michael just like grabbing Corey, there's more of an extended like tussle, and Corey falls into a pit full of bodies, which it's revealed in the book that Michael's been eating people down there, and Corey falls into the stash pit. So it's actually a pretty good sequence. So it totally changes the vibe of that first meeting, though. So I can see why they didn't use it. And anyway, the next one is Joan's Bunny Slam, which is a different version of when Bluray meets Corey's mom. Like, they have more of like an argument, and Joan like throws one of her like collectibles from that shelf of like glass bunnies. Corey reflects upon himself. That's just like a brief thing where after him and Michael kill the doctor and the nurse, where he's just looking in the mirror at himself before he meets with Allison. Ronald's stuck at work. That's just a quick thing establishing Ronald like hanging out, like watching movies at the junkyard before Corey shows up, and after luring the band kids there. Margot gets the boot. It's just a few quick moments of Corey like stomping on Margot's face. Instead of just the one stomp you see in the movie. It's really, I kind of wonder why they bothered to include that instead of some of the other cool stuff, you know? Like, why not just put Darcy in there instead? And Joan's Recipe for Disaster is, like, the full kill scene of Corey's mom, which is pretty good. I understand why they cut it out, because it's more artistic, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but man, they really like let her have it in that scene, and it was good. Like, that was, I sort of wish they'd left that in. So there were a lot of choices made in editing this movie. Let's just say that. I am so happy whoever made this list that I borrowed from some forum included the runtimes, because I did not have the presence of mind to write them down. So thank you, whoever you were. So this next featurette is Final Girl with a runtime of 4 minutes. So that was just kind of a quick thing where Jamie Lee Curtis talked about how significant the role was to her life, and she kind of broke down a little bit. Like, this was so important to me, which I don't know if I necessarily buy quite so much, because from the stories people told me, she had kind of resented Halloween for a long time before she sort of embraced it in 2018. So, I mean, it's probably sincere, but I'm kind of like, but you know, it's good that she like came around to appreciate it, because I think it's probably her like best work, and, like the thing that she's, you know, most known for. Because I mean, I don't know what else she was famous for. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for saying that. Oh my god. You know, a place like Haddonfield with 7 minutes. So that was more about. I think that was more about establishing like Haddonfield. I don't want to say as a character, like as a place, which I guess, you know, duh. But they just talked about like the set design and the atmosphere. It's a little hard to remember exactly what that one was about, honestly. The gag reel, which was, you know, self-evident. That was a fun watch. With them just kind of screwing around. Ending Halloween, 8 minutes. That was a talk more about kind of like the writing and like why they chose to go in the directions that they went, and that was a good one. I enjoyed that one. So, A Different Threat, 5 minutes. That was a discussion about like kind of why they went with Corey and just discussing that character, and that was I really liked the idea of the Corey character, and so I was really happy that they included something like that. The Visions of Terror, that was about costume design. Oh, 6 minutes. That was about costume design and like designing the mask for ends specifically. Like how did they like age it or like tweak it from the Kills mask? Like they explicitly mentioned like we didn't want to just do the Kills mask again. Like they had to change it in some way, but not like too much. And you know, they talk a little bit about like continuity on set, you know, just kind of standard production stuff. But it was still interesting. And Twisted Deaths, one which was, it says 1 minute, but I feel like that feature was a little longer than that, where it showed how they made the prosthesis for like the tongue cutting kill. And that was also, I think, the featurette where they showed like Darcy's kill. So, which is Darcy's kill is in the book too. She gets impaled with like a prying bar and like stuck to the wall. And like we do see that like being filmed. So where's the footage? But yeah. So honestly, pretty good Blu-ray 4K release. Like it's quite good. And but going back to the movie, I mean, yeah, it's very divisive, of course. But honestly, I'm very surprised that if you've seen all the other Halloweens, and you don't like Halloween Ends, I kind of don't understand why. Because I mean, we've been through a lot worse. Like, damn. I mean, like, I know people like H2O, but I mean, I thought H2O was a lot worse than this. I mean, damn. Or, you know, Resurrection, you know, trick or treat, motherfucker. I mean, yeah, that line is funny, but, you know, it's not very dignified. Or, like, Curse of Michael Myers with, you know, the whole, like, incest thing. Like, yeah, and, you know, is living in a sewer, like, after being heavily wounded, is that worse than any of the stuff we've seen him put through? Like, is it really? I mean, people are nuts. Oh, but anyway, all that aside, so, well, thank you for bearing with us through this. Hopefully you're still watching. Yeah, pick up the Steelbook if you can find it. It seems to already be kind of selling out. Like, a lot of stores just didn't seem to get it from accounts of a lot of my friends. So the pre-order was a pretty good idea. Check out that book. It's a good read. It's how many pages is this? So the ebook was something like, if you read the ebook on a phone, it was something like 448 pages, but the book itself is 364. It looks like. So these novelizations have actually been pretty good, like, overall. Like, it's really fun to have, like, a major horror movie, like, novelized again, like back in the old days. Those were nice. You know, they usually based off, like, the screenplays, so there's, like, a lot of extra stuff, and yeah. But anyway, so hope you had fun with our Halloween Ends-a-Palooza. Damn, I did it again. And yeah, we'll be back later. So like, share, and subscribe, and do all that stuff. And, you know, actually, don't forget to like the video. Like, that's important. Do it.